Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Birth and Beyond. I'm Danelle Osborne, and today we're diving into one of the most emotional questions a woman can ask herself. Am I pregnant? Maybe your period's late by a day. Maybe your body feels a little off. Or maybe you just know something's changed, even though you can't explain how. In this video, I'll share what I personally noticed the month I found out I was pregnant, and a few other subtle signs that real women experience before that test even turns positive. If you're in that in-between space, waiting, wondering, this one's for you. Okay, so I'm going to quickly talk about my story. It started when I was just one day late, and I know, right? One day late. And I wasn't too concerned because I had been traveling, off of my normal schedule, eating differently, and barely sleeping. Then one night in my hotel room, I caught myself thinking, wait, when was your last period again? I opened my phone where I tracked my cycle, and sure enough, I was late. I brushed it off, just honestly telling myself, you're just traveling. Things are always off during that time. Your digestion, your sleep, all the things, right? But something felt, different. My body was softer, slower, and my emotions were just heightened in a way I couldn't quite describe. That's how early it can start. The smallest incremental changes that whisper something new is happening. So let's talk about some of those signs that can show up before you even take a test. And I will start by saying the number one that I experienced was the tender and swollen breasts. For me, this one was the first thing one of the first things I noticed. I couldn't get comfortable lying down, and my shirt just felt suddenly tight. One woman told me she knew because her sports bra felt 2 sizes too small overnight. That is literally how powerful hormones can be. Your body is already preparing for what's coming. Number 2, that bone-deep tiredness. You know, the kind where you could fall asleep mid-sentence, where you just never had even a good 30 minutes of rest, and the next morning you wake up and you are just like, I'm done. Yeah, that's what pregnancy feels like. And I remember sitting at my desk one afternoon thinking, I literally cannot keep my eyes open. Fatigue is often one of the earliest signs. Your body is working hard behind the scenes, growing something extraordinary. And number 3, mild cramping or a feeling of fullness. This one can trick you. It feels just like your period's about to start. And I've heard moms say, I was sure my period was coming, but it never did. That subtle ache or heaviness is often the uterus stretching and increasing blood flow. And number 4, light spotting. Some women noticed a tiny bit of pink or brown spotting for a day or two. Don't worry, this can be implantation bleeding, so don't freak out. It's not like a period. It's just faint and short. So if you see that and your period doesn't follow, that also could be one of your first hints. And this one here, number 5, changes in smell or taste. For me, it was eggs. My favorite smell in the whole world. I love whipping up a fresh batch of fresh, delicious scrambled eggs. And suddenly, that made me gag. I've heard other women say it's meat, perfume, even their toothpastes. Your heightened senses just come on, and sometimes smells can just be unbearable. And which leads me into some other things. And I will say this one here didn't happen for me until after I got my positive pregnancy test, but definitely something that continues until your HCG levels kind of just level out. And that is emotional shifts. I cried watching a dog video once, and that for me was like, okay, this is definitely the pregnancy hormones. And number 7. For some women this happens, and for some it doesn't so much. But digestive changes are going to happen when you're pregnant, and sometimes those can come on very quickly. It's not glamorous, but it is common. Progesterone relaxes your muscles. Even when your digestive tract, is moving, it's still just, you feel full or gassy. I really couldn't tell you, but I didn't experience that till maybe 8-9 weeks pregnant, but definitely there. And number 8, a sense of calm or inner knowing. Some women describe it like a whisper, that quiet sense that something's growing inside. It's not fear, not even excitement so much. For some, it definitely is, but it's really just a deep awareness. And I felt that too, that grounded, peaceful feeling before anything even showed up on a test. And so if you're wondering when to test, the best time is the morning after you missed your period. That's when your HCG levels are the highest for the day. The pregnancy hormone, right? HCG. It's high enough to detect because you had been sleeping all night and not drinking a massive amount of water. They like to say it's the most potent at that point. So if you're like me and just a day or two late, if you were like me and you were just a day or two late, give it a little bit of time. Testing too early can sometimes show a false negative. And if you see a faint line, it still counts. A line is a line. And I would also recommend, if it's faint, testing maybe a day or two later. And, when those two lines finally appeared, I remember sitting in silence for a minute because, ironically, I took my pregnancy test on my mother's first heavenly birthday. So it was super special. And honestly, it didn't matter that I kind of suspected it. Seeing it on that pregnancy test made it real. You might laugh, cry, or just sit there in disbelief. It's okay. Every emotion is valid. This is the start of your motherhood story. Or maybe it's not. And right there, no matter what, is the future. And so I say to you, if you are pregnant, there's a few things that you probably should do. And what comes next would definitely be scheduling your first appointment, usually around 8 to 10 weeks. Keep taking, or start, if you haven't, taking prenatal vitamins with folate. And, I'm sure most of you know this, but drink plenty of water, rest, and eat simply. Guys, your body is growing and doing the most amazing things right now. So resting, drinking that water, and eating well are some of the best things you could do to serve your little one. And also write things down, how you feel when you found out. And those small details, I will tell you, mean so much to you as you go later through your pregnancy or even as your little grows. And if your test is negative, but you still feel pregnant, wait a few days and test again. Hormones rise at different speeds for everyone. So, how do you really know you're pregnant? Sometimes it's not a symptom. Sometimes it's just a sense, a stillness inside of you, a knowing. Trust that. Your body is always speaking to you. So lovely, so intelligently, and also truthfully. If this video resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to Birth and Beyond. Like this video and share your story. And also tell me, how did you first know you were pregnant? Because every story you share helps another woman feel less alone on her journey. Until next time, trust your body, rest your mind, and remember, you are the first home your baby will ever know.